What's going up, everybody? This is Jeff with Altcoin Buzz. So, the questions come up. You guys are asking, Jeff, what's your top cryptocurrency or cryptocurrencies in 2018? And I make videos about altcoins to watch heading into 2018 and, some of the under the radar ones, but which ones are at the top, at the pinnacle of it all? And that's where we're going to take a look today, and we're going to examine that. And I'm going to go ahead and select four of my top four, one of which I would call my top cryptocurrency to watch. But let's go ahead and kick this off. Okay, no particular order here. IOTA. I'm going to say that IOTA for sure is going to be one of the top cryptocurrencies that I'm going to be keeping a hawk eye on growing into 2018. And that's because they're continually getting in there with the top companies, Microsoft, Bosch. I mean, the list is going on and it's only going to continue to grow. So because of that, IOTA, if you come on here, you can see that it's had a massive spike, massive rally, and it's peaking up and down. You want to buy IOTA on the dip. I'm going to recommend that, as I always do. The circulating supply, it's high, but it's not that high. So it does have a lot of room to grow, and you can anticipate some real interesting price actions in 2018 with IOTA. And I would say because of the tech, because of the team, this one is a conservative but solid price action wealth generator for you in 2018. If you're not the type to take big risks, IOTA is a very safe play as an altcoin, and you will more than likely see gains. Now, as always, this is not financial advice. I am just a regular guy, just like you. We would be sitting at a bar and having a discussion, okay? Except I'm not drinking any alcohol right now. I've had coffee. So I guess you would say a coffee shop. But if we were to sit down at a bar, I'd like to think that you would be down to have a beer and talk crypto, right? So in that particular fashion, cheers to beers. This is why we're talking it. You're asking me a question and I'm answering it. IOTA. If you don't know what IOTA is, it's the Tangle Ledger. They call it the next generation blockchain, right? Or the next generation, it's the next generation blockchain, but it's the Tangle Ledger. And look at this cool website, right? I mean, they got all this awesome stuff with the where they zoom in. But you know about the Internet of Things, the Ledger of Things. In this new autonomous machine economy, IOTA will be the backbone. The Tangle Ledger is able to settle transactions with zero fees, so devices can trade exact amounts of resources on demand, as well as store data from sensors and data loggers securely and verified on the ledger. These sensors right here, these are the sensors. If you're into autonomous vehicles, you know how sensors are being used in autonomous vehicles. So it'd be interesting to see IOTA's role in autonomous vehicles as we move forward. I don't have enough information to suggest that Tesla or any of these other companies developing the autonomy in the vehicle, in the transportation space, but sensors to computational station to smart energy grid. I mean, this trifecta here is very interesting. So data, power, and power, and it's powered by IOTA. The Tangle, the main innovation behind IOTA is the Tangle, a revolutionary new blockless distributed ledger which is scalable, lightweight, and for the first time ever makes it possible to transfer value without any fees. So contrary to today's blockchains, consensus is no longer decoupled, but instead an intrinsic part of the system, leading to decentralized and self-regulating peer-to-peer network. If you guys want to dig in more, you should always go to the Tangle white paper. Here it is, October 1, 2017. And I always recommend that people go to these white papers and read what's going on and familiarize yourself with the tech through the white paper. Some of it can be fairly dry. As you can see, this is a very technical white paper, but the general idea is that IOTA basically transmits data, and it takes a sensor's diagnostic report or a recording, and it transfers it to the computer, and through all that there's a process, and it's all done through the Tangle Ledger, which is a blockless processor. So as you can see, that you'd have to be a real math whiz to understand a lot of this, and I don't say that tongue in cheek. I mean it. So it's a very technical white paper, but you can see this project is very amazing, and I say that because I've been invested in IOTA since in this range. You can check my channel. I've talked about it, so it's not like I'm just now hopping on the hype bandwagon with IOTA, because once I found out that it's different than the blockchain in the sense that it's a Tangle ledger, I've been excited about IOTA ever since then. Okay, so what's number 2 on the list? Ripple. And I'll tell you, Ripple, if you know the history of Ripple and how people have been on board with Ripple and then off board with Ripple, you have to keep in mind that it was a flat cryptocurrency where people knew to get in. But if you just look at the historical on it, you'll see that as you're investing in other cryptocurrencies and other altcoins, sometimes you do have to, once you make your decision that you like the tech and the team and the project overall, and you see the investment opportunity there, then, you know, be willing to wait it out. Like, take a 3-year plan with it. If you want to trade it sooner, by all means. I mean, when I invested in Ripple, I was investing here at 20 cents, below 20 cents. I remember in September when it went to 18 cents, I knew, I was like, you know, this is a buying opportunity for Ripple. But I was bored with it personally. I was bored because I wanted the coins. I'd see coins getting 2 to 3 or 4 times gains, and I was looking for those. But I still took out my position on Ripple. But I mean, with a snarly look on my face, held on to Ripple throughout this whole thing here. And then finally, you know, we'd get little pumps here and there, you know, but finally we got our big pump that we'd been waiting for. And then it just finally took off. And then it took off again. So, but I don't think it's done taking off. It has a massively huge high circulating supply, which does play a factor in the market cap. But there is rumors swirling about Ripple working with Amazon. It's already with multiple different banks. Last I checked, it said 47 banks. But now they've worked with American Express. These guys are totally the market. They're totally the industry leader for micro transaction processing. And what they use is the RippleNet. So RippleNet is basically the technology that's being adopted by banks, and, you know, people don't like the fact that banks are getting involved, but at the end of the day, it's just what it is. And there's going to have to be that medium, that process that connects the two. Ripple connects banks, payment providers, digital asset exchanges, and corporates via RippleNet to provide one frictionless experience to send money globally. Access, speed, certainty, cost. The fact that Amazon's getting big on it, there's chitter chatter about it going on to Coinbase. Coinbase, the thing that Coinbase doesn't have right now is that low cost coin, that coin that you can get at a low value, that micro transaction. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Verge? Is it going to be Ripple? Who's it going to be? And right now it appears that Ripple would be the one that would make the most sense because of its how deep it is in the overall community and how much foundation it's laid so far. So yet again, if you're looking to get into this cryptocurrency, you come onto their website, familiarize yourself with it. And this, like I said, this isn't financial advice, but I will definitely tell you to dig in and get to know the company and get to know the RippleNet and do what you can. But this is one of those what I would call a safe investment, because it's not one of those 50 times gainers necessarily, but it's one of those 2 to 3 to 4 times gainers. Typically, that's what it's already done. I mean, I invested in below 25 cents. It's already over $1. That's a 4 times gain. And based on my own opinion, I believe it has more room to grow. You can come down here. You can learn more about the company, the regulators, the resources. So there's just a lot of information, and you can take advantage of all of that by getting to know RippleNet and what they offer. If we're looking for the Ripple white paper, I don't believe you're going to be able to find that on the page, but if you're looking for the team, Brad Garlinghouse, there's many interview videos with him, so you can see that there's big companies here, CME Ventures, Google Ventures, huge right there, right? I mean, it's board of directors. Ripple is also hiring, and you can probably Google to see if there is a white paper, if you wanted to read the full white paper. I'm not seeing it on their website right now, but moving right along here. If we go back to the charts, look at the market cap. It's pretty high. It's definitely one of the top cryptocurrencies. It's number 4. Where can it go from in 2018? We'll see. I don't have a price projection, but it's growing and it continues to grow. And especially as Amazon gets on board, if they do, or any other major companies come on board, it's just going to further solidify Ripple. And getting in at the early stages is going to be advantageous to the early investors. And I've already experienced that myself. And so, yes, it's in the top 10, but Ripple is one of the top cryptocurrencies on my list. So far, we have Ripple and IOTA. Now we're going to move down the list a little bit, and I'm trying to spread this out. I don't want to just focus on top 10s because Cardano is a great project, and I really like Dash as a privacy coin. But we're going to go ahead and move out of the list a little bit and find a little bit of a wild card with room to grow, okay? So I like EOS, and it does have room to grow, but my project that I'm going to zero in on, and I've been zeroing in on this since when it was below $5. You can watch my videos. I was telling people to buy below $5 because I knew after doing the research on it that it had that Ethereum-like feel to it. Now, this is at an all-time high, and it's not financial advice, okay? This is just my opinion about what I see in the list project that's got me investing. I'm not sure about where the max supply is, so I'm not sure why they don't have the total supply, but let's go ahead and dig right in here and look. Oh, by the way, I think it's important that I go over this. So I apologize because I didn't mention it on IOTA and Ripple, but you can pick Lisk up on Bittrex, Poloniex, BitZ, Binance. So there's a lot of exchanges that you can pick up Lisk. But let's take a look at the website. So the Lisk website, there's supposed to be a Lisk rebranding. What you're seeing is more than likely what you're not going to see when they do the rebranding. So I believe the Lisk project is going to roll out a whole bunch of new stuff, including potentially a new website and a new logo, but some other information and updates, possibly even a wallet update. We don't know about the Lisk rebranding, but that's supposed to be taking place sometime in Q1 of 2018, but it'll be interesting to see how that affects the price, if at all. Now, if you're looking to know more about Lisk, you can see it's an application developing platform, kind of like Ethereum, right? So right now there's no ICOs being built on Lisk, and they have the developer platform on here, right? You know, but we don't see any ICOs saying this is a Lisk powered ICO. We see ERC20 tokens, which is Ethereum, but nothing for Lisk yet. But that's where it gets really interesting, is because if the price is already where it's at then, what's it going to look like when it gets to that point, you see? So you can get involved in the community, the developer chat. They have the documentation. Let's go ahead and pull that up and see if we can understand more about this. So you have the pre-installation, the installation, the upgrading. You can click on all this and just dig around. And what I'm doing is I'm showing you how to find out the information that you need. And right here is the Lisk protocol. You see, what is Lisk? Lisk is a cryptocurrency that offers a next generation platform that allows for the development and distribution of JavaScript-based blockchain applications. So the best way that I've always been able to explain this is like Android. You can build apps on the Android marketplace. You can build applications on iOS. Okay, so you can build applications on Ethereum. You can build applications on Lisk, if that makes sense. That's the best way I can put it into layman terms. So hopefully that clears the air on exactly what they mean by an application developer platform using the blockchain, okay? So Lisk provides an easy-to-use interface and access full-featured ecosystem. Now, Lisk is not the only developer platform out there competing with Ethereum, and the more you find out about Cardano and some of these other ones, Neo, you know, but Lisk, this is a Swiss project. It's out of Zug, Switzerland, and I've been big on Lisk for a while now. I've been tracking their team. You can see the team right here. They're actively working on their project. And where is their leader? He's a young guy. Where is he? See, they don't have him by names. There he is, Max Kordek. He's the co-founder. This is the guy that you're going to want to familiarize yourself with as you're getting to know Lisk. He's basically the project lead. There's interviews about Max Kordek online. You can take a look at those. And if you wanted to, take the evening to understand more about what you'd be investing in, which I do recommend, taking the time to understand what you're investing in is always a great idea. So Lisk, like I said, it's at an all-time high right now. I was buying Lisk below $5, and there was a time there for a month where every time I'd get paid, I would put more money into Lisk under $5 because I did my research, I dug in, I found out about this project, and I've been big on it since then. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that it's, I was looking at Ethereum, and I was like, well, if Ethereum is at that time, Ethereum was at like $400, no, $300. Ethereum was trading at like $300, and I was like, well, could Lisk be worth $300 one day? And basically the way we would have to look at that is where's the market cap, where's the circulating supply, and you'd have to go to Ethereum and look at the Ethereum market cap. As you can see, going from 2.8, let's just call it 3, right? So if we go from $3 billion market cap to the Ethereum market cap as it stands right now at 78 billion, you can see there's a lot of room to grow for Lisk. So I'm not trying to get you to FOMO into Lisk right now, but I am saying this is one of my top cryptocurrencies for 2018. And it's really a difficult list to put together because to say my top ones, I mean, there's so many on there. I already went over, I could have added Cardano, and I made videos and was invested in Cardano at under 2 cents. So that just goes to show where we were at in September, October, and where we're at now will be interesting to see where we're at in March, guys. But some of these projects here are just amazing. I did sell my Cardano when I got 5 times gains, but if I would have held out and held, which I've been doing with some of these other cryptocurrencies like Verge, we got Verge under a penny. It went up to 15 cents. I could have sold at 15 times gains, but I held. This just over time, what happens is you end up just building up your buying power. And I know guys that started out with $200 that are sitting at $6,000 just by, well, they're my friends, And so it's not because of me. It was because I was paying attention to these things, and they would say, which ones do you recommend? I'd say Lisk or Cardano or Ripple, and so I've seen people grow their portfolio from $200 to like, or even $400 to $6,000. I don't remember exactly how much they put in, but that person told me that they started with 400 and they have 6,000. So, I mean, 6,000, what if you came into the market today with $6,000? Well, what if you came in with $400 today? How much damage, or not damage, how much growth could you make, right? That's just interesting to hear people's success stories on that and just think where you could be in a couple months from now. So now I told you I was looking at wildcards. So those are my 3 solid buys. The top 2 are my between IOTA and Ripple. Those are my conservative safe plays. Lisk is you've got more room to grow with Lisk. And this one is what I would call the wild card of the bunch. But I think that overall there's the most room for growth. Now, this isn't financial advice, okay? But I've been talking about this for a while, and I keep getting the indicators. The writing appears to be on the wall with this one. It was the most successful ICO ever. They had a hiccup. They had to do an infrastructure repair. Today, on Twitter, John McAfee, he just tweeted about it, okay? He just tweeted about Electroneum, the first of my daily coin reports to your grandparents who asked you to explain cryptocurrencies. You can come on here to John McAfee and follow him on Twitter. If you guys are not already on Twitter, I say this in pretty much every video. It's a great resource. You guys can get on Twitter and really find out a lot. You can also follow Altcoin Buzz.io. We are staying up to date with our Twitter feed, and you could follow anyone you want, but if you're not already using Twitter, Twitter is like the medium for cryptocurrency community. There's InvestFeed, which is another community, which we're also on Altcoin Buzz. You can follow us there. And we're also on Instagram. You can follow us on Instagram at Altcoin Buzz. So depending on what mediums you guys like to use, I do answer a lot of these questions from here, but let's get back to this Electroneum. So, like I said, there's some interesting news that's come out about Electroneum. John McAfee finally tweeting about it in a day when many cryptocurrencies have been in the red. Electroneum has shown to be in the green finally, and if you participate in the ICO, you were getting these for under a penny. So even right now, you're looking at a 10 times gain. So Electroneum has delivered for people. The problem was it had reached 12 cents, and when they dropped their wallet, all these people who were participating in the ICO had sold their cryptocurrency. So when I was making a video about it here in November, you can search the channel, we were talking about how Electroneum had gone flat and it was in a buying opportunity at 2 cents. And I bought in and some other people had bought in. And, you know, we rode that all the way to 12 cents. Now I was making videos on the way up too because I didn't know how high it would go. And in fact, I wasn't sure if people were going to continue to ride the wave or if they were going to take their 12 times profit. But what ended up happening, a lot of people took a 12 times profit. This is probably one or two people really, based on how steep the drop off was. You don't, probably one or two people just like, should I take my 12 times profit or should I try to ride this even higher? And they said, I'll take my 12 times profit. That's what happened. And ever since then, it created a real sour taste in people's mouth. And now it's kind of starting to take back off again. That's kind of what the chart can tell you. But if you want to talk about the tech, you can get this cryptocurrency only on Cryptopia. And if you want to talk about this tech, like I just said, let's go ahead. So they have a mining application that you're supposed to be able to get onto your cell phone here shortly. And this is another thing that's made these guys such a wild card is they've had to iron out so many glitches in their project. And for me, I don't really call it a red flag. It hasn't been a red flag for me. It's been more of a buying opportunity for me because of the trajectory of the project. You know, sometimes projects are too big for their own good in the beginning, but then once they get things straightened out, they end up, you know, really being solid. We've seen that with Ethereum. If you know the history of Ethereum, you know that there's an Ethereum classic for a reason, guys. It was because there was some issues with Ethereum. Now Ethereum has stabilized and become an industry leader. And that's kind of what I always looked at Electroneum as. Now Electroneum, once it gets onto some of these other exchanges, that's going to be really interesting news. And it has been featured on Yahoo Finance, ICO Bench, Bloomberg, The Telegraph. So it's not, you know, when was the last, does Bloomberg just invite scam projects on there to shield their, you know, to talk about their projects so that they can scam everybody? No, Bloomberg's not in the business of scamming people, okay? So to all the people who've made these gnarly accusations because of infrastructure repair, really have to think about what they're going about, you know, what they're thinking about. So the Telegraph is also another credible source. Electroneum crowd sale success, I already mentioned that. You can see this application is going to be very interesting when it comes back. When you're finally able to get it, it's going to be just a heck of an opportunity for you to mine from your mobile phone. You have the team here. This is Richard Ells. There's many interviews with Richard where he's reaching out to you guys, telling you about what's been going on. And if you just do a little simple Google search, you'll see the news and information about Richard Ells. And that's really a positive thing to see the project leader reaching out to the community and keeping you guys in touch. You have some advisors, Mark Anderson, Andy Denton. So there's just a lot of stuff going on with this project. United Kingdom is where it's out of. Now, like I said, one of the things that you're going to want to do is follow them on Twitter. Okay. So in order to do that, you would go to Twitter and type in Electroneum. And let's see if we got some up-to-date news and information for you about this project. See, they retweeted John McAfee's tweet. We've got big news. Crypto Rich has uploaded a new interview that will hopefully answer many questions. So if you're looking to get some information about that, go to Electroneum CEO interview on Crypto Rich's channel. So shout out to Crypto Rich for that, right? For every 10 cents Electronium goes up, I make $1,635 in profit. I don't know where his math is coming from, but you get the idea. So this Electronium has made the list as my wildcard investment because if you have in your portfolio one that can get you massive gains, that's kind of cool. And Electronium is my, like, hey, you guys are looking for that, potential 5 times, 10 times gains. Remember, this isn't financial advice, but I am saying that if you're looking for that wild card that can do it, I think all of those cryptocurrencies could get you 5 to 10 times gains. But I think this one here, at the magnitude that it's at right now and at the magnitude of where it can go, if it reaches a $10 billion market cap at some point, you will see that this Electronium project, that's a 20 times gains, or just under a 20 times gains if that happens. It does have a high total supply, so don't go saying, well, when Electronium goes to $100, but I've got people on YouTube that I've seen saying that it could be a $20 to $40 cryptocurrency, and that would be interesting if you got in at 10 cents. But I'm not here to hype up anything, but I'm just sharing information as I see it. You can see that there's plenty of other people out there. There's credible news sources who've talked about Electronium, including Bloomberg, The Telegraph. You've got guys in the crypto space like John McAfee talking about it today. You've got Crypto Rich doing interviews. So it's just an incredible project, and you can get in at the early stages, and that's kind of what we're looking for if you're looking for those big gains. And that's why I made the list of my top 4 cryptocurrencies to keep an eye on headed into 2018. Electronium is the one that's looking to get the masses really using it. And I think the millennials in the gaming sector are going to really drive the usage of Electronium. You can go Google the Electronium white paper to get more information on Electronium. And like I said, if you're not already following us on Twitter, or even Electronium or John McAfee, maybe you can do all 3 if you don't even have a Twitter account and you're like, who am I going to follow? Follow Electronium, John McAfee, and Altcoin Buzz.io, So, no, I don't work for Twitter at all either. Like Twitter, I just use Twitter. Here's an Electronium evangelist Twitter account. He's retweeted this a couple times, so shout out to him. Let's go ahead and follow him. So there's tons of people you can get involved with. And I don't think I told you guys where you can get IOTA, so let's go back there. For those of you who stayed along for the ride, let's go ahead and get that. So you can get it on Bitfinex, Coin1, Binance, OKX, Gate.io. So you can also stay up to date with IOTA token here on Twitter. If you're also going to get on Twitter and you need to find out how to follow and stay up to date with IOTA. And you can also stay up to date with Ripple. So let's get you plugged in with where you can get Ripple. Bitfinex, Poloniex, Binance, Coin1. So there's plenty of places, Bittrex. There's plenty of places you can get some. You can get it on Bitstamp, Binance, Kraken. I mean, Ripple's really got it's everywhere, really, right? So you can also follow them at Ripple, stay up to date from Ripple. So there's just a great deal of opportunities here with these 4 cryptocurrencies. So just to recap, just so you know. So you have Ripple, IOTA, Lisk, and Electronium. These are the top 4. I do make plenty of videos talking about altcoins that I see. Some of these altcoins that I'll talk about will be cryptocurrencies and altcoins that have potential to get more gains than you've ever seen, as we've seen with the likes of Verge in the last few days. If we bought Verge under a penny, we saw it go to 15 cents. And it was when some of us were getting in, we were getting at 0.005, which would have been 30 times gains, and we saw that real quick. So there are opportunities, but you have to remember, when there's high reward, there's also the high risk. So there's other projects out there, and I'll be talking about them. I'm wanting to talk about them right here on this video, but I'm going to hold off for now. I've hint, yeah, 79. Keep an eye on that. But all right, guys, we'll see you guys later. And if you're new here, you can subscribe. And if you've been subscribed, you can click that bell and get notified when we drop videos. Thanks a lot, guys. This is Jeff with Altcoin Buzz.